What up, Space Fam? Goes in here from Anime Uproar, and I'm back at it again to discuss the new crazy One Piece chapter. We learned the fate of Luffy and the Straw Hats. Kaido does something absolutely brutal and crazy, and multiple characters get epic moments to shine, and more. So make sure to stay tuned for this one. If you do enjoy these chapter reviews and want to keep them coming, channel the Pirate King within and smash that like button until it's blue. If you haven't, make this the video you subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications, or you will miss future One Piece videos. Lastly, while you wait for the next chapter to drop, feel free to check out my growing One Piece playlist that includes videos on all the Yonko, Warlord, Supernova, and more. Link to that is in the description. Now without further ado, let's jump into it, spoilers and all. So this chapter is called Chained, and interestingly enough, on the side, we're told the struggle against the Emperors reaches its climax, and a climax is defined as the most intense, exciting, and important point of something. In this case, of this war against the Yonko. That's a big claim, and it makes me wonder what will happen from here if we already saw the most intense parts of this war. What I'm hoping is that they're just clickbaiting a bit as shonen do, and they mean we're still around the beginning of the climax, which will last multiple chapters, but we'll find out. We see Luffy still in the water, and furthermore we're told he's sinking to the bottom of the sea. In the meantime, people are dealing with the announcement that Luffy lost and is dead, according to Kaido. Chopper is affected big time as others visibly panic too. Chopper gets bitten as he remarks, "There's no way you actually lost, right? What are we supposed to do now?" End quote. He's crying, and I wasn't sure if any Straw Hats would actually get to this point of questioning Luffy, but clearly not everyone is like Sanji and Zoro. Still, if even Chopper can be so affected by the news and thrown off guard, imagine what the newly recruited extras might be feeling, especially after seeing Chopper react like this. People are questioning whether they lost already and commenting on Kaido's overwhelming dominance, so Kaido's plan is working very well. He's done a good job of hurting their morale with that announcement. And Izo is on the same page and specifically realizes this, saying, and I quote, "That announcement was meant to hurt our morale," end quote. So immediately it must be questioned. Kawamatsu adds, "We have no way of verifying it." They're in the right headspace here. They're not jumping to conclusions, but thinking rationally. If an announcement, whether true or not, benefits Kaido strategically, and if they saw no proof of Luffy's death, then it would be stupid to assume all hope is lost. They have the right attitude of continuing on as if nothing changed, while Sanji is less stoic about it and angry that so many people around are dumb enough to lose the will to fight anyway, even though they got no proof of what Kaido is saying. I predicted this would happen with the extras, but the fact that Chopper would be so affected too shows just how dire the situation appears. As Queen mentions, Chopper was so fired up earlier that Queen played along, but now he's significantly deflated. We also see a bunch of arrows in the men around Queen, so clearly Perospero has been hard at work, making it rain candy arrows. Perospero comments that when the general falls, all the pawns lose their composure, which seems like a true enough statement for the majority of fighters right now. He launches another volley of arrows, and that is an impressive technique. It's insane just how many arrows are included in that candy shower. Still, you hope to see him in a real fight rather than just attacking random troops. As Chopper looks like a deer caught in the headlights, Queen calls him cowardly and prepares to finish him off. But our boy Sanji comes to the rescue, kicking Queen so hard that his body spins like crazy. This move is epic for multiple reasons, some of which include he did this to Kaido's second strongest all-star, who's literally as big as a dinosaur. The attack also managed to deflect all the arrows shot by Perospero, and finally Perospero was hurt as well by the spinning dino helicopter and sent blasting off like Team Rocket. For anyone who felt like Sanji wasn't getting his chance to shine, this should make up for it. And to boot, after he accomplishes this amazing feat, he acts cool and stoic, calmly letting Chopper know he did good and really pulled through. Everyone present remarks that they're saved, and Chopper is bawling his eyes out to Sanji, about to tell him that Luffy is dead. And the calm, cool, and collected Sanji calls him an idiot and tells him not to cry, saying they've seen this happen countless times before. And he's so right. Many of you usually point out in these chapter reviews that Luffy lost multiple times against Crocodile in the past, and he straight up looked finished for good in certain cases. And that's just one example. If we had moments like that with a Warlord, it it makes sense that we'd have moments like that with a Yonko. Sanji has to be my MVP for this chapter. His actions and his dialogue were amazing in this one, and the effect that he had on everyone else around him was amazing as well. He leaves the mummified Zoro to Chopper and mentions that if he recovers, he'll be worth 10 men, while Zoro hilariously retorts, and I quote, "More like 2,000. I appreciate these little humorous moments so much, especially between Sanji and Zoro, and now that Zoro is in Chopper's hands, you can bet that he'll be ready to fight again before this war is over. Sanji, looking so cool, says lead the dino to me, while an irritated Queen remarks, so it's Judge's brat. This is the matchup I wanted. We knew that Chopper wasn't going to beat Queen, but Sanji beating Kaido's second best commander would be perfect and really help position the Straw Hats as a formidable crew even compared to the other Yonko crews. And as I mentioned, Sanji is also helping to encourage others as onlookers wonder how he can keep going after his captain died. Marco, for his part, is just amused and remarks that that's why he likes the Straw Hats. And yeah, you gotta admit, the Straw Hats are awesome. We then jump to the castle interior first floor. Kanjuro and Kiku appear lifeless on the ground. Kaido approaches a heavily injured but still breathing Kinemon. The attack we saw last chapter didn't finish him off, but he's definitely in no position to fight back as Momo cries. We get some really touching flashbacks here as we see how Momo and Kinemon were pretty much like father and son. Although Momo only called him father to help hide his identity, Kinemon was the present father figure for most of the story. And they clearly cared deeply for each other, as we can tell from the sheer joy they got at calling out to each other and being reunited. There's no doubt that Kinemon would gladly sacrifice his life for Momo. He's not just sacrificing himself for his ruler, but also for his adopted son in a way. We then get a stark contrast from the happy flashbacks to the tragic present, where Kinemon is badly hurt and preparing to meet his end. His last thought is not for himself but for Momo, begging him to escape and for Shinobu to keep running. It's a touching, eye-watering moment. Kinemon was a good man right up to the end, and Kaido appears to finish him off for good with a sword. And you never know for certain if someone is gone for good in One Piece, but this seems about as final as you can get. And although Kaido seemingly takes his life, the Yonko appears to respect the samurai. He tells him to embrace his honorable death like a true samurai, and that's something that has stood out with Kaido. Although he can arguably be evil, he does have this respect for honorable warriors just as he did for Oden. It serves to make him a more interesting antagonist, but wow, the scabbards really appear to be dropping like flies at this point. But it still hits you right in the feels, especially this moment with Kinemon. And now props to Momo here. I already gave my MVP of the chapter to my boy Sanji, but arguably Momo could get it here with his actions. He's crushed by what he just saw, and yet he still is smart enough and brave enough to have grabbed the frog so he can make an announcement of his own to everyone. It seems that when his head hurt, it was Luffy sending him a message. We know Momo has the special ability to sense people from a distance, but I'm more intrigued by Luffy's ability here to apparently communicate like this. Momo relays the message that Luffy is still alive to everyone with tears streaming down his face. He tells everyone that Luffy said he would definitely make it back, so keep fighting, even if it hurts and even if you have nothing left. He begs them to keep fighting until their last breath. Although we'll probably learn more about this in the future, right now it seems that Luffy, despite being in the water, communicated to Momo that he's going to beat Kaido, and Momo lets everyone know that Luffy is going to win. Then we get a goosebump inducing moment where everyone cheers in unison and the morale is at 100% once again. Such an amazing moment for Luffy, and I really look forward to finding out more about the implications of this ability to straight up communicate with Momo to the point where his head aches unbearably, but also with others, as we'll see in a bit. But we also have to hand it to Momo. Kaido must be impressed by how much this one kid can influence the entire battle. Just as Kaido's announcement strategically served to kill morale, Momo arguably boosted morale higher than ever before with his own announcement. He truly is already an amazing leader, especially because he was able to do this on the spot right after witnessing his father figure die before his eyes. Now that's 2 dads he's lost to Kaido, so I'm hoping he gets some satisfying revenge against him before this is all through. Now if I understood these panels correctly, as Kaido has cornered Shinobu and Momo, Shinobu apparently uses her ability to decay the ground beneath them so that they begin to fall straight off the island to Kaido's surprise, and that might really be the best bet they have at this point. And then one of the many theories that was suggested in the comment section of the last video proved to be correct. I saw a bunch of theories in the comments for how Luffy will be saved, including this one, which makes a lot of sense. While a submarine stumbles upon Luffy and his crew recognize Luffy. But perhaps stumble is not the right word, because they say it's like they could hear his voice even though they're underwater. The voice of all things ability has been very strong in this chapter, and Luffy is not just hearing voices, but apparently his ability to communicate his own voice to others is absolutely amazing. And I love that you can't say it was a coincidence or that he got lucky, because his voice no doubt called them here, even though they're confused about the whole thing. Another interesting development we see is that Zeus appears to be inside Nami's weather weapon now. We quickly gloss over this part in this chapter, but another great detail, since you all know how much I wanted the Nami and Zeus combination, and I'm so glad we appear to have gotten it. The exact explanation of what exactly is going on can wait, of course, as we jump to Kid and Law confronting Big Mom. Although Big Mom thought it was over when Luffy hit the water, Law knows that when it comes to Luffy, never say never. And although Kid talks big, like Law will only get in the way as he finishes off a Yonko, Law is like, bro, we should play nice for now. And he's got a point. With Luffy out of the picture, even if only temporarily, they gotta do what they can to make sure they win. The last thing they should do is get more divided and conquered. Lastly, we get such a hype matchup. Yamato finally calls out Kaido as they prepare to fight. And obviously Yamato showing up and distracting Kaido prevents him from even trying to look for Momonosuke and Shinobu if he wanted to. Although Kaido wants her to call him father, she says that bond of father and daughter has chained her for too long and she's going to free herself from it. Although I don't think Yamato has a chance to beat Kaido physically, it will be interesting to see how fighting his own child may affect Kaido psychologically, and even if Yamato loses and only buys some time, it'll no doubt be significant that she was able to put it all on the line here without holding back, come what may. And that's it for this insane chapter. Wow, reading it back, I'm shocked at how much happened in just one chapter. We got no break next week either, so we're going very strong right now. As always, let me know your thoughts on this chapter and what you expect to see happening next. Who was your MVP this time around? I love the Sanji moments, the Momo moments, and of course the Luffy moments, but I think it's about time my boy Sanji gets MVP for this one. If you do enjoy these chapter reviews and want to keep them coming, channel the Pirate King within and smash that like button until it's blue. If you haven't, make this the video you subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications, or you will miss future One Piece videos. Lastly, while you wait for the next chapter to drop, feel free to check out my growing One Piece playlist that includes videos on all the Yonko, Warlord, Supernova, and much more. Link to that is in the description. And until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.